Got it. Now, who do you think, like, first of all, do you think it's important for men to be vulnerable? Because that's another big question out there, right? And if you do, who do you think they should be vulnerable with? Because you have to be really careful with that, right? Because obviously the nice thing to say is, oh yeah, be vulnerable, but you have to be really careful, right? Because like the reality is, people might look at you differently if you express too much, weakness, per se, quote unquote.
Yeah, again, this is going to be a hot take. I might get me in trouble for saying this, but
Yeah.
I am never vulnerable with my girlfriend. I am, however, vulnerable with my guy friends. And she knows this too. This isn't a secret. I know she's going to watch this as soon as it's out, but
Uh
she knows this as well. And her impression of me, hopefully, is that, well, like,
huh.
you're so strong. You're never flustered. Like we like we might get lost in an airport somewhere and like, the
Yeah.
lights change and we don't know what the next, keep it calm. Don't show vulnerability. Meanwhile, inside my head, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I have no idea. Who do I talk to? Who do I ask? So, and that, to answer your question in a shorter kind of way, I don't think that men should be vulnerable to people that are very closely connected to them emotionally. So really close friends that you depend on for your emotional safety may not be the ones that you are vulnerable to. In fact, I would even suggest that a therapist is easier to be vulnerable to than a girlfriend or a wife. And the reason for that is because while you hope that they'll never use it against you, in any sort of conversation, in any sort of argument, even a guy friend who's really close to you emotionally, who really like, you depend on for emotional safety, you're having a fight, they might say something that you told them in confidence. And, you thought that they would never bring it up and use it against you. So, in many ways, the closer you are to someone, the less healthy it might be or less safe it might be to open up to them.
Yeah, that is really interesting because, like when I was working at the bank, right? Because like just a few months ago, like I was working at a bank, I left it, but while I was there, what I noticed was people would just tell me like everything about their life. Even after I said, okay, I can help you, because sometimes they might try and tell you a sob story to kind of make you feel bad, right? But even after I'm already helping them, they're telling me their life story, and
Yeah.
like it's shocking how easily people just open up and tell you like some of their deepest secrets and like the worst things that are happening in life. And even, if I go to coffee shops or malls, like I talk to random people because I love doing that, right?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, like, after you talk for an hour, an hour, 90 minutes, and people just start revealing everything.
Yep.
It's really interesting. Now, why exactly do you think, like, for example, you mentioned that you're not as vulnerable with your girl, right? Now, why is that specifically when it comes down to that relationship? Like, what do you think it'll do to her if you're too vulnerable?
Well, in one way is that I, like most men, want to be respected, and
Yeah,
sometimes I'm having a bad day emotionally, and and that is going to shatter the image that I like to portray, toward that respect. And as far as like from her point of view, we can't both be vulnerable. She and I are together. We don't have kids or anything like that. So it's just she and I. And so, if she is bringing the feminine energy, which is very valuable, I might add, I
mm,
have to bring the masculine energy. And masculine energy is about, okay, everything is going to crap. And like, what are we going to do? We need a hero. And
yeah,
that is my role to play. And that doesn't necessarily mean in some sort of like Armageddon type of event. It might just be like, we got a flat tire. Like, her car got stuck in the snow the other day and she just didn't know what to do. And I honestly didn't know what to do either. But guess who had to figure that out? I did,
yeah,
because
yeah.
that is the masculine energy. And
Hmm.
in order for her to stay in her true feminine energy, it is a complementary environment. Because if I brought feminine energy and if I were the person that needed to be saved, she would naturally, because she loves me just like I love her, she would naturally step up and bring that masculine energy and be the person that figures out, what do we do when our car is stuck in the snow? She's not comfortable in that position, nor am I comfortable in that being saved position. And so, in order to continue that dynamic, there are some times that we have to act unnatural to us at that period of time in order to maintain that level of dynamic. And so that's what that does for
Hmm.
her. It makes her feel safer. It makes her, we just traveled the other day
Yep.
and she was asking like, just random things. And I'm like looking at what the gate is. The gate changed from A60 to A55, back to A60, back to
Hmm.
A55. And she's just on her phone playing Tetris. And I
Yeah.
love that. That's what I want. I want her to feel
Yeah.
so safe that she doesn't have anything to worry about. If some random guy's getting on the airplane and I got a bad feeling about him, I'm going to keep an eye on him. She's just sleeping on my shoulder. That's what I want. And that's the complementary piece of masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah, exactly. Because like girls are like naturally like they're gonna be attracted to a confident self-image, right? Because like that's just how it is, naturally. Like they want to feel safe and feel good,
Yeah.
right? So if you're too vulnerable and showing too much weakness, that'll kill that, right? Because then now she's not gonna, even if she doesn't want to feel that,
Yeah.
right? She'll feel like it's not like I don't feel as safe being with this person because this guy seems like he has no control,
Yeah.
and also like it just doesn't make her feel good, right? Which will kill all attraction.
Yeah.
Which is why I agree with that, and I have you on the show.
No,
Yeah,
100%. I mean, even if it's like not even at the airport, another example I thought of is like if you're walking down the street with your girl,
yeah,
there's like a group of guys that are just like, look like they might have some bad intentions.
yeah.
You're hyper aware of that and you're kind of afraid of that too, but you can't show it because that's just two people that are afraid. And so you have to be
Yes.
the confident one. Usually nothing's going to happen. Many people that might look very shady are actually very, very kind and very genuine.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
lost? Can we help you? That type of thing.
Exactly.
But that confidence goes a long way in maintaining that dynamic, which is so important.
Got it. Got it. Great.